Okay, 1, 2, 3 testing. Finally, my best camera arrived now on day 38. Day 38 of the fast, 38th day of the fast, February 8, 2012. And so here we are, the 38 days, 2 more days, and the period of the 40 days ends. But it doesn't. At this point, since yesterday and today, a lot of mucus been coming out as I walk, and it's a lot of spit coming out. So all this mucus, I don't know. I've never been to a 40-day fast, so I don't know if that what takes place at the end or towards the end. All I know that on Saturday, the day after the fast, I'm scheduled to sing at the funeral of this great teacher that just passed away last week. She was one of those, great teachers that they don't make them the way they used to, really stickler for the rules and very strong character, who brought up a lot of kids in the school that I used to teach before. Even she even taught my son. So she had asked me, because she had heard me sing this song before with the student in the audience there at the worship service, The Impossible Dream. She asked me to sing it because it was her favorite song. So I sang it and she liked it, and she told me, in my funeral, remember, I want you to sing that song. So she happens to have passed away last week while I'm doing the fast, so I'm scheduled to sing at her funeral service on this Saturday at the New Heights Hacienda Church, New Heights Church of the Nazarenes in Hacienda Heights, and it's going to be 11 in the morning. So keep me in your prayers, because as it is right now, I don't know. This is the first time I'm going through a 40-day fast period, and so all this mucus have been coming out as I walk. It's a lot of spit and phlegms, and so. Especially when I walk, you just loosen them all up, and so when I'm trying to sing and rehearse the song, my voice can barely come out because it gets all caught up there. But even though I'm doing that, it helps to loosen some more, and some more has been coming out. So other than that, there's no pains, there's no weaknesses. It's just, I guess it's a lot of cleansing going through my system, So tonight I had to lead the worship service, and they were like, all the songs were good songs. We sang "A Mighty Fortress Is Our God," "It Is Well With My Soul," good hymns. Where you have to sing loud, and I was having a struggle with those hymns, and those hymns are very easy for me, but it's because I've been saying the humor. So keep me in your prayers that the Lord will glorify His name in spite of all this. Well, He knows what He's doing, and He knows how to take care of His body, but it's wonderful so far. So the strength has been there. So most likely, I will continue. This Sunday, I will go to Hometown Buffet with my friend Brian. He's the one that taped it last Sunday. We're outside by the garage, and cause that's something we are an agreement that we made. But I'm not going to go there to go haywire and eat everything. I will eat grapes that day, because a little by little I'm gonna stick on the grape. Then later on I'll drop it up. But this Sunday I'm gonna go there and have a little salad, and maybe 2 different kinds of fruit. Not too much mixture. It's not good to mix your food. The best thing is to learn to follow a mono diet. That means to depend on the fruit that is in season. That's what most the animal kingdom do. They are like mono diets. They just eat what is in season, and they keep pretty healthy. They just eat from God's kitchen, from His plants, that when the products come out, the fruits are already cooked enough by the sun. That's the way God's kitchen is, the sun. He cooks them with the sun, and they're ready for you to be eaten. If you want to take it into another kitchen and cook them any further, then you destroy them. Have no value in your system. So that's how the animal kingdom eats his foods, cooked by the sun of God's kitchen. By the kitchen that is warmed all by the sun that God has created, and they're healthy. It's just when we give them the stuff that we eat that they get sick. I hear of animals here in America that have the same things that their owners have. Diabetes, dogs with diabetes. Never heard that growing up. Until these years I begin to hear something like that. Where's the genetics there for that animal? Genetics. Just a bad diet. You acquire the bad diet. You give the dog the leftovers of what you eat, and nobody gets sick just as you are. With the food that you eat, you gotta watch what you eat, because what you eat kills you or makes you alive. So most of our deaths are being created by our own ignorance. So it's important to give your DNA the right tools to work with, and this marvelous, you know, code, the DNA, which is a code, is a word that rules the flesh. The flesh is ruled by a word. The code is called DNA, and it's being decoded. It's a word. So it's a program, but it's the living word of the flesh. And this living word knows exactly how your nose should look like, knows exactly how your eyes should be strengthened, but if it doesn't have the tools that come from the eating of fruits and vegetables and raw foods, you know, the way God meant it you to have, it's not going to be able to build anything. It's like you can have the best architect in the world, the best engineer, but if you give him you know, or a carpenter, or if you give him a hammer that is made out of rubber, you know, or a saw that is made out of rubber, no matter how good it is, if he doesn't have the tools, he's not going to be able to build anything. So that's how it is. The DNA gets the right tools and everything that it needs to be able to do the job that it's programmed to do, to preserve your body in the best way possible. But if you have the right tools from the right sources, you know, once the food is being cooked, then it's like giving the DNA, you know, a hammer and think that should be solid to work with your structure, something like to be made out of rubber, and it's no good to it. So that's why the DNA cannot do its job, because it doesn't have the ingredients necessary to work, to keep you going, and therefore we need, depending on the doctor outside of our body that is not as knowledgeable. Because remember, the word doctor means knowledgeable. The one that knows more than your doctor is your DNA. You gotta trust the doctor inside of you that got put in there. The DNA knows how to take care of you. Knows exactly how you should look. But you gotta give you the right tools, which you can only get from fruits and vegetables, raw, you know, and nuts, stuff like that. But so I'm very encouraged by this. What can I tell you? You know, so we've been talking about the stuff that I have been doing, and basically, what I have been doing is, especially since last year when I began to seriously start walking, and you know, to encourage yourself, because I used to have a paper route. By the way, the job that I do, I work from home, which not a lot of people think that's the ideal job. So I need to walk, because otherwise I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to sit at home all day. But I walk at home. I work at home. You know, my job is an interpreter. I interpreted from English to Spanish and vice versa, and Spanish to English. And from Guatemala, so my first language is Spanish. So, by the grace of God, this little job landed in my lap, and you know, God gave it to me when I wasn't expecting for that to come. But I was doing a friend a favor, and the sister of this friend of mine liked the favor that I did to my friend, and so she got me this job. You know, she just told me that where to go, and I told me, yeah, this will be jobs for you. You're an interpreter. You will do this, okay? And voila, I've been doing that job. But at the same time, I had the paper route. When I took this job, I already had a paper route at midnight. So I was doing that, and I started there, and I was just gonna, you know, while there was no work to do, I was gonna do that for a little while, you know, while I found for something else. Because, you know, like I said, I work for churches that don't pay for you to get this unemployment disability. So if I lose my job, I don't have any unemployment disabilities coming to me. So I had to go find something to do. So right away, I lost my, you know, anything. I was out of work for about a month. In 2005, I had to fast, because I figured the Bible says, he that does not work should not eat. So I figured that would motivate me to do something. So I fasted during the period that I wasn't working. And as soon as I finished the fast, I got the routes. Now, in a matter of 5 months, I went from just working one route in there. It was paying me only like $500 a month, a little route. But 6 months, you know, they're like, I don't know, you know, the Lord gave me favor with the owners of the warehouse, that they just put me in charge of it as the manager. So like 6 months down the line, I was making $4,000 a month, you know. But I was struggling, because you know, I just like to work. I throw myself to something. Once I do something, I just get into it. So I was there, and I was doing that for a while, because I figured then I was doing a lot of routes. And eventually, you know, the owners lost the contract. Somebody else took the warehouse, and I was demoted, you know, to just a carrier again, but I had this other job. But eventually my cars broke down, and I couldn't get a car. So I figured, okay, I had no more cars, so the Lord doesn't want to give me more cars, because He made it easy for me to have a car to start that job. Once I didn't have it, cars broke down, and I didn't have the means to get another car. I said, well, the Lord wants me to not, simple, you know, I'm not going to fight with it. You got to make the best of where the Lord puts you. So I figured, okay, thank God I still have the other job. And then I found out after a little while that I should quit that job a long time ago because the gas, how expensive it was, spending almost $700 a month just on gas on that job. So eventually I was saving all of that. And with the other job, I was actually having more money left and more time to sleep, you know. Because that way I was only getting for years, almost 5 years, only 4 hours of sleep at night. So I will say I would like the other job because throwing the paper was very relaxing and I got to meditate on the Word of God. And it was wonderful in that sense, but I also had to exercise when I went to the apartments and passed the papers. It was my exercise routine. But once I left that, then I figured I gotta walk, you know. So that's what practically last year. In May 31st, I quit the route. So I was just left with my 40-hour job, you know, because that was very easy, you know, 90 to 100 hours a week doing those two jobs. Because the other one was like a 12-hour job, and this one was an 8-hour job a day. So, you know, was hardly any room, you know, almost 12. So I had to learn how to really manage my time, and that's why I stretched my 40 hours into 6 days. You know, I worked 40 hours, but in a period of 6 days, from Monday to Saturday. And my hours are distributed to be 40 hours that way, because I had the other job, you know. So it was kind of interesting how the schedule worked out, but now it's working out fine. So I figure, okay, I don't have a car anymore. The Lord took it, you know. So I'll just start walking. I thought, so because I will wake up early anyhow, because, you know, I had the habit of working at night. So I will wake up early, so I started walking my son to school. I committed myself to do that, so, you know, so I'll say, I will be walking with you, you know. He was okay with that. So I walked him. He's in junior high right now. When I graduate from the 8th grade and moved to Los Altos High School, it's coming September. But in the meantime, I committed myself to do that, you know. So if you're going to start something, acquire a practice that you know you can keep for life and that you will enjoy doing. You know, now I enjoy walking by myself. I mean, period. That's when I think the best. It's when my thoughts are placed in the best order possible. You know, where I feel I pay more attention to God as He reveals and opens the scriptures to me on my walk. It's just a wonderful routine. That's my devotional time. An hour and a half. Used to be 3. But it's cut down because, you know, I guess I picked up the pace and I walk faster. But, yeah, you know, walking is just, all experts will tell you that the best exercise, above all, is walking. You know, Arnold Ehret, the one I've been talking about on fasting and the mucular diet system, it says that the 3 main exercises, the best 3 exercises are walking, singing, and dancing. Everything else, all the other exercises that we're told that we need to do, are below those 3. Those 3 are the best ones for the body. They're non-impact. You know, dancing you might get a little bit into the impact, but it's all fun because you have to have having fun when you do something. You know, you have to be enjoying it. So it's easy to enjoy walking at an easy pace. It starts with a pace that you're comfortable with. You don't have to feel like you're rushing. A lot of people feel that they have to sweat something, to lose the weight. It's like, you know, no pain, no gain. No, just make it easy on yourself. You know, you have given to the body a lot of pain by eating the wrong foods to begin with. And you're feeling the pain. Most of you are on pain medication. You know, look at me, 52 years of age, no pain medication of any kind, no medication of any kind, period. You know, just like Hippocrates said, the father of Western medicine, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. So he kept all the nutrition, and you can keep it centered that way. You know, as the food that you eat depends how it's prepared. Now, if it's processed, if it's the real food, the way God meant it to be given to you, it will have a tremendous impact upon your body. So, all I'm doing is now encouraging you to, you know, acquire little habits that you know that you can always do, you know, and that you can keep for the rest of your life. You know, don't go into some diet just because, you know, just for a season. If you're gonna go into something, go in it because it's good for the rest of your life. So embrace something that is always gonna be good for the rest of your life. So acquire a habit, training your body to like the right things, to like the right way of thinking, to like the right way associated with different people, you know, and enjoy the company of those that encourage you to remain in the path that God has placed you to be, you know, and strengthen you to be there. So that's why I decided to, when I had that schedule with the 2 jobs, I couldn't go to church because the other one was every day. The routes are every day. You don't get a break on that, especially on Sundays. You know, I wouldn't finish working on Sundays until about 12 noon. So almost for 5 years I did not go to church because of those situations with those two jobs. You know, but now I'm going to church every Sunday because that was taken. I don't have no, my Sundays are the only day off that I have. So I use it to praise the Lord, and I have nights that are free, so I dedicate to go to services on Wednesdays. You know, I'm involved because there's nothing interfering with my time. So thank God for that. So all those things are happening, and it's wonderful. You know, but all I can tell you is that, you know, if you're going to endeavor to do something, stick to it. I wanted to do this all with water, but my body, for the schedule that I have right now, I was only able to do it for 10 days. So when I began to feel that I didn't have the strength to continue, I went to plan B, you know, which is the grapes. And I've been doing the grapes ever since. And with the grapes, my body has not only kept the stamina and the energy and the ability to keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm more energized at this moment than I ever was before, you know, before I started it. I didn't have this kind of energy, I don't remember ever, you know. But the only, like I said, the only uncomfortable part right now, because all these assets are coming out, you know. But it's okay. I mean, they need to come out in a fast. That's the whole idea. And so what I had forgotten to do, which Arnold L. recommends, is that you have a little glass of water with lemon juice in it, especially back towards the end of the fast. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to start doing it again because I'm almost ending. It's only 2 more days. So, and that thing that will help me clear up the mucus that's coming on. So, you know, by God's grace, I'll be ready to exalt His name on Saturday, a funeral service. So keep me in your prayer for that. But I appreciate your attention once again, and thank you for listening. Tomorrow, God willing, we'll continue with this.